Thank you very much, everyone, and welcome. Thank you very much for joining and welcome to our February Town Hall. Now, before we get started, I'd like to remind you that we will be recording this particular session. And then secondly as well, we like making these sessions very interactive. So please switch your videos on so that we can see your lovely faces. And thirdly as well, if you do have any questions for our speakers and showcases, please post those questions in the chat, or alternatively, wait for us when we're doing our Q&A section at the end of each showcase. So with that said, I'd like to hand over to one of our co-founders, Pippa Yates, to give us a quick welcome. Over to you, Pippa.
Thanks, Kanya. Hi, everyone. My name is Pippa Yates, and I am, as Kanya said, one of the co-founders of Turn. Very happy to welcome you here to the town hall today. Well, I mean, February so far, it's been a hectic month. We are devastated to see what's going on in Turkey and Syria. And we know a lot of you are working hard on the ground to save lives, and we're here for you. Let us know if there's any way we can help. There's really fantastic work going on the ground, and it's a Chat for Impact community. This is what we're all about, to kind of respond to these crises and be ready to deliver essential communications where they're most needed. On a happier note, today is the Global Private Health Conference on Developing Resilience in Emerging Markets. And we've got our fellow co-founder representing us there. He's got a suit on for the first time in a long while, but very excited to see our fellow community members, Guidepost, Zuri Health, and my Dawa are there. Very excited to see what insights they bring back from that private health conference there. But very excited that we're seeing you guys around in person these days, which is really exciting. And so with no further ado, we've got a fantastic lineup for you today. So I'm going to hand over for us to get started. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Pippa. I'd like, before we get started and continue with the rest of the program, I'd like to welcome our newest community members. Now, these are organizations who have joined us in the past month since our last town hall. And again, it's great to see organizations such as Vele, which is an organization based out here in South Africa doing work in the education space with early childhood development. And we also have organizations such as Hand of Hope, which is the Joyce Meyer Ministries, also Medibuddy, which is based out in India and is focused on health. And then we've got an interesting organization as well, which is doing work in financial inclusion in Kenya called Shara, and then Amarehab as well. So we welcome all of you to our community, and we're excited to see the work that you'll be doing on WhatsApp, and even more excited to see the impact and work that you'll be doing to serve your communities. Up next, we also have an amazing showcase, which is from an organization based out in India as well, called Team Everest. And I would like to introduce Kati, who is the CEO and founder of Team Everest, to tell us more about their use case and what they've been doing on WhatsApp. Over to you, Kati.
Hi, Kanya. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Hello, all. So Team Everest is one of the biggest youth-run NGO in India. So our focus is predominantly to promote volunteering and provide education to children, actually. So our vision is to inspire everyone to volunteer and create a lot of givers, a lot of volunteers in this world. So we are a 16 years old non-profit organization, started in 2006. And this past 16 years, we have inspired more than 1 lakh people to volunteer and touched the lives of million children till date. Can we go on to the next slide, please? Thank you. So we have been using Tone.io, I think, for more than 1 year now. Ideally, one of our flagship program is called I Am the Change Scholarship Program. So what we do in this program is we identify parentless, single-parented children and financially poor students and we sponsor them for their undergraduation degree. So today, if you look at it, the graduation rate of India is only 8.5%. So a lot of children actually drop out after school education due to lack of funds. So we identify such potential children and we support them for their graduation program. So this particular scholarship program, we started it 7 years back in 2016 with just 19 students. So those days we were using WhatsApp groups to communicate with the children because it's a very, very small group actually. Just go to the next slide. Thank you. So today, if you look at it, this is what we are doing right now. It's been 7 years since we started this scholarship. Today, we have 2,500 children to whom we need to, whom we have shortlisted as our scholars, and we need to notify them about the fees payment. And there's a certain process that we follow here. As you see in this workflow, what we do was, we first notify the students about the fee request, because there's two times a year we open the window for fees payment to children. That's step number one. So we send them a WhatsApp message, notify them on WhatsApp via turn.io, and students looks at that message, submits for the fee request, and then Team Everest verifies students' fee request. Once they submitted, we verify, check the soft copy. We either approve or reject the fee request, and either we approve or reject, again an alert is sent via turn.io to the student. And once the soft copy has been approved, the fourth step is that student couriers that original bills to us, because here our auditor requests for these original copies of the bills. So we receive these original bills, and Team Everest verify these original bills which is received from the children. So we get like thousands of couriers actually, and we get this couriers, verify whether the bills are, whatever they sent us a soft copy is correct or not. It's an offline process that happens. And after verifying the original bills, we have built an inbuilt software where we just go and mark it as this is approved. The moment we put it as approved, because of the API connection that we have established with turn.io, it immediately triggers another message telling it is approved, the hard copy has been approved, or it is rejected. And if it is approved, Team Everest from the backend, we initiate the fee payment to the student, and student receives the payment. Okay. And whenever we initiate the payment, we again trigger a message to the student telling that we have initiated the payment. And once the student receives these funds, they share a confirmation and a thank you letter via their WhatsApp itself, which our team downloads it from the turn.io. And we repeat this process almost every month actually. So today, if you look at it, we have processed crores of rupees via this particular process. And only because of turn.io, we were able to put up this process together. Turn.io is at the center of this entire process, because a lot of the children come from underprivileged background, and many of them are these millennials, right? Millennials or Gen Z also, right? So these children don't look into emails very frequently. So the only way you can catch the attention of these young people would be via WhatsApp actually. So that's why, we have tried it with email triggers in the past, it didn't work. Today, our WhatsApp success rate is, the moment you send out this message for fee request, almost 70 to 80% of the children apply. And within next 15-20 days, we almost get 99% of our students apply for the fee request. So I don't think without this integration between turn.io, this is possible. So our problem is typically 6 years down the line, we have grown to 2,500 students, and a WhatsApp group doesn't work. That's where turn.io actually helped us scale this program with the help of API. And we also use this as a help desk, because today these children needs to ask us a query. They just come on WhatsApp, ask us, and we get around 2,500, 3,000 queries a month, which our team looks into and replies to them within 24 hours. And you could see today, not just our scholarship, we also use it for our volunteers. We also use turn.io to notify students about our upcoming training programs. And you could see more than 16,000 people have used this service in the past 1 month. And more than 450,000 messages has been received and sent on WhatsApp actually. Move on, please. So the key learnings is timely alerts are key for user retention engagement. You have to reply to them very quickly. And being on the platform where users are there is been a game changer. So young people being on WhatsApp, so if you keep sending them only emails, your response rate would be very slow. And many of them don't even know how to log into an email actually. So WhatsApp really, really helped us there. And a lot of personalization helped improve the engagement. We send it with their name, all those things. So that personalization really, really helps. And like I told you, the integration is the key thing here, because your third-party apps, with whatever apps you have, if you could integrate with your turn.io account, I think that is a real game changer actually. Just move on. Yeah. So you could see small video on what kind of messages we trigger to the children. And here we go. Yeah. So you could just. Sure, yeah. So that's it from our side. So for us, it helped us scale our scholarship program, and at the same time getting queries from 2,500 people, managing such a huge crowd. I don't think this was possible on regular WhatsApp or using a WhatsApp group. Now we are able to reduce the chaos and answer individual queries at a much faster pace. So thank you for that. And if you have any questions, you could ask me now. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Kati, and thank you very much for the presentation as well. If anyone does have any questions for Kati, please feel free to either raise your hand and we can unmute you on our end, and then you can ask Kati directly, or I'm just waiting for questions in the chat as well. And I think in the meantime, Kati, you mentioned integrations being a game changer. So what have you integrated with our Turn platform, and how easy was that integration?
Yeah, see, we use something called a Zogo creator here. So where all our student database sits, all our fee request database sits actually. So it really makes sense to connect it with Tone.io, so that, you know, like whenever there is a trigger message that I need to send, so we immediately trigger a WhatsApp template to the student. That way that the student is able to trigger it reply to us very quickly.
Perfect. And then maybe the second question is, you mentioned that you've got your platform set up as sort of a help desk as well. Can you maybe tell us a bit more how that help desk is set up, especially thinking about automations and threads, and then also having a human support involved within your platform?
Sure. Yeah. See, like if you look at when we started the scholarship in 2016, it's a small WhatsApp group. So people are asking some questions there, we were answering it. And we actually gave a phone number which people could call and actually speak. It worked till 2018 when we are just 200 people, 250 people. But after that, we started growing. So once we hit 1,000, you know, like your phone keeps ringing all the time. So the phone call model doesn't actually work. And a lot of the children go to college. So they actually come back home after 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. and start giving the call. By the time we will end our office actually, right? So it was really not working. And you miss the call, you have to go back and call them also. So what we have done primarily is that we told our children that, you know, like calling is not the primary option. You first do a WhatsApp, and we also told children, you know, like you cannot type something, do a voice message to us. So our team listens to it and they do it, so that it is very asynchronized right now. That way we are able to resolve lot of students very, very, very fast. Earlier when children were calling us, lot of children's line will go busy because our phone is already engaged most of the times. So today, if you look at our ID cards that we give to the children or the scholarship letter we give to the children, we mention our Tone.io WhatsApp number at the bottom. We call it as a scholarship latest number. And any questions that come, children should ask there first. And in case they want to request for a call back, children come and put like, I want to speak with one of the team Everest member, and then we schedule a call and we talk with the children. So this way, right, there's a lot of flexibility and we are able to accommodate a lot of requests as well.
Thank you very much for that. And then I've got a great question here from Pippa before we move on to our next showcase. Yeah. What are some of the common queries that you receive on your service? And second to that, is this mainly around the fees, or do you reach out to for school or emotional support too as well?
Yeah, see, today we use the Turn.io for different audiences. We use it for our scholars, we use it for our volunteers, for our donors, for our fundraisers. We run different programs apart from scholarships. We use it for our different beneficiaries as well. But when it comes to scholarship, the major questions would be around the fee payments. And we run a lot of mentoring training program for children so that they will ask us, what is the new program coming up, or they will tell my volunteer is not picking up the call. A lot of these are virtual programs actually. So, or they have a question whether I have a training program this weekend or not. So all these questions we were able to answer it a lot better actually. Because today, see, if you look at last year, we engaged more than 15,000 people to volunteer, 15,000 people volunteered, helping some 40,000 children. And in the process, we clocked some 2 lakh volunteering hours. So this is volunteering at scale. And so we get a lot of questions, both from the volunteers and the students. And this really helps us to answer such questions very, very fast. And every month, see, today we have a database of some 84,000 volunteers with us. So what we do is we filter out the volunteers, frequently participated volunteers who opted in for our notification about new messages. So what we do is every month we also trigger them what is the upcoming month activity, so that a lot of people look into that WhatsApp message, and then go to our website, see what is the upcoming events, and sign up for our upcoming volunteering programs actually. So this has really helped us, because see, your email open rates is around 18% to 22-23% actually. So
Perfect.
here you get a lot of traction. So I think that really is a game changer for us.
Thank you very much, Kati. We're going to move to our next speaker now, but I mean, again, amazing showcase and use case that you guys are doing. And we love the work and the numbers that you're doing as well on WhatsApp, and we look forward to supporting you even more. I'll now hand over to my colleague, Lakshmi, to introduce our next showcase. Over to you, Lakshmi.
Thank you so much, Kanya. Well, first, I'd like to thank every single person that's here today. 63 of us from all over the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's an incredible feeling to have so many of us join in and talk about things that truly matter and try and make an impact. Joining us, and I'm proud to announce this, is Priyatosh Das, who is the communications officer at CARE Bangladesh. Priyatosh, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Lakshmi, for introducing me so nicely. It feels very nice to be able to be presenting on behalf of CARE Bangladesh over here. So CARE is, many of you may know, is a development organization working worldwide since 1945. It stands for Cooperative for Assistance and Relief Everywhere. And it started its journey in Bangladesh in 1949. Even before the birth of Bangladesh, CARE has been actively working in this country, and then after that, building the country and working in many aspects like humanitarian, health, and many nutrition and other fields as well. The main goal of CARE is to provide hope and inclusion and social justice and defending dignity for the people in need. So this is a brief description of CARE and CARE Bangladesh. And if we move on to how our work with Turn happened, previous slide, please. So our use case, we developed a chat service. Let me give you, explain a little bit about how we reached here. So in 2021, we worked with Meta, and we did a campaign. And as a follow-up to that, in 2022, we did 2 campaigns, one in Facebook and another one in WhatsApp. And that WhatsApp campaign is the one we did with Turn. And in here, what we try to address is the childhood immunization factor. If I focus on the problem, how we came to identify in which sector or which part we will work in. So when COVID happened, much of the vaccination program focus shifted to COVID. Most of the vaccination human resources were focusing only on that because that became a pandemic and that was the first priority. This led to way more less, or in some cases, the activities were not as much as it should have been in terms of childhood immunization. There was a gap, and to fulfill the gap, we needed to come up and remind people to keep continuing when the whole vaccination and COVID situation was a bit under control. So that's how we identified this sector, and we tried to work on it. So we noticed that the knowledge levels of the people, the target group, caregivers, mothers of children who were small, who were little young, they needed to be reminded about how they can get immunization for their children. So on top of our existing activities that we do in Bangladesh, hand in hand with Bangladesh government in some places, especially offline programming in Ghazipur, that's a district, we also thought to utilize Facebook advertising to show some content and creatives where people will actually feel interested and then click on and then come over, redirect them to the WhatsApp chatbot that we built with Turn. So that is the problem we try to solve. And what we gave as a solution is 3 simple factors. It's like we informed them about what childhood immunization is. We told them about the importance of childhood immunization. And number 3, we actually told them how they can access, where to get the vaccines, and how to get the vaccines. So these are the 3 aspects we focused on. And once we focused on these aspects, we ended up generating more than 1,19,000 conversations. Much of the conversations were not complete, but still this is a hope, because in offline programming, there is a limitation to how much interaction we can do, but this scaled up in a bigger format, so helping us to generate more than 19,000 users who have opted in because they wanted to get more information about this. So that's how the whole operations got scaled up using Turn.io. If we move on to the next slide, the things that we learned is that one thing I must mention here, EPI, or Extended Program of Immunization in Bangladesh, was in a very good state. Most of the people were convinced that they must vaccinate their children in time, all the vaccinations needed. But the gap that I mentioned, which happened due to COVID-19, is the space where people actually lost a bit of that confidence and where we needed to work more. Now it's getting back up again. So that's how offline programming showed an existing high level of baseline knowledge where we could not lift much of their previously existing knowledge or importance or concept about childhood immunization. The good thing is they do not have much misconceptions or myths related to this, but the few ones they had, we actually tried to identify them and inform them about it. Another learning is, since this chatbot was more like a template-based format where you can press 1 or 2 and then get the prefixed message, that did not work for a few of the people. They wanted customized, personalized messages that suits their particular scenario. So that is one learning. And the last one is customized time-based reminder messages. So one of the participants, as we say in care, might have their children who is 2 months old, and another participant might have their children who is like a child who is 10 months or maybe 1.5 years old. So the number of remaining vaccinations vary from children to children, person to person. So that is how we plan in future. This is a learning that we can actually give them reminder messages based on how many vaccinations are left. And we can actually do some time calculations and give them, get information from them, and then supply that reminder messages so that they can actually get the reminder messages and then go to get the vaccinations on the very day or the next day. Moving on. this is just a snapshot of how the chatbot looks like. So if we see, when we say hi, it returns with messages. We just categorized each of the sections, like number 1, it is in Bangla, which makes it easier for them. So when they press 1, they get details information about how many vaccines are needed, when to take the vaccines, which vaccine fights which disease and whatnot. Number 2 is about the importance, and number 3 is about where they can get them. So each of these menus have sub-menus about that particular main topic. And we also had other sections where they could actually interact to know more information, call a toll-free number by the government to get more information, participate in a quiz and check out how much they actually have learned. And then also in the last section, we kept a survey where they can participate and let us know about how they felt about this chatbot. So all of this information really helped us to gain deeper insight about what they actually have an understanding about and how we can make this a better experience for them in the future. So that is a demo of the chatbot. And if you want to access this chatbot, there's a QR code. You can scan this QR code to interact with the chatbot and see for yourself. So this is what we have built and run in Facebook for about a month. And Turn has been a great resource to make this happen. And colleagues from Care Bangladesh, our health team, and Care USA team were very much involved in making this. This was a collaborative process. Thank you.
Priyatosh, I have to say it's a privilege, an absolute privilege to be a small part of the spectacular work that you're doing all over the world and not just in Bangladesh. We have a lot of interesting questions. The first one's from Maria. Thank you for this one, Maria. Well, what is the onboarding process to have more users into the platform currently?
The way we actually wanted more users to get access is we follow 2 ways. Number 1 is that we have an existing database of phone numbers that we get from our existing health activities that we do around Care Bangladesh, in Bangladesh. That's one way. We can, after taking their consent, we can actually give them direct messages so they can click and then access it. And number 2 is we did Facebook advertisement. We targeted 18 to 45-year-old males and females, mothers and caregivers, and having interest points who are related to child care, baby care, health, and whatnot. So these are the 2 ways we actually targeted people, from Facebook and in WhatsApp.
Thank you. That was amazing and very detailed. Well, we have another question from Qasim. Shout out to Qasim. Does language pose any sort of restrictions, especially dialect-wise? Has that been a challenge?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Well, most of the people in Bangladesh do speak Bangla and understand Bangla language. So dialect-wise, it was not much of a challenge as of yet. And in terms of when if we were to use English, it would have been an additional challenge for them. But Bangla is kind of easier for them. But as you particularly and rightfully identified, if we manage to, in future, if we manage to go into the dialect level of customization, I think that will help more people to get familiarized and comfortable with using this chatbot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Kanya, do you think we have time for one more question?
Yes, you can ask one more question quickly and then move on and head over to Nilka.
Perfect. So then coming straight from New York, from Jono, who's the founder of Same, has the length of the messages we saw in the demo, that they were pretty long, but of course, answering them is you just type in a number, yes? So has the length been a challenge? Is that something you've tweaked over time? What's the journey been like?
Yes, we tweaked the messages because it's very important to, like break them up into small bite-sized pieces so they can actually get a better understanding. For example, if you talk about how many vaccines and which diseases they fight, if we pack them in one message, it's very hard for them to read such a long message or as a reply. So what we try to do is break them apart as much as possible. So in one answer, they would get only how many vaccines are needed. And in another answer, they will get the name of the vaccines. Then in another message, they would get which vaccines are fighting which diseases. So that is how we try to break them and make them as small as possible. Because if we give longer messages, people do not tend to read to the end of it, and they might become not interested in further continuing to interact with the chatbot. Thank you.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much. Maria, I do see that you have sent in another question, and I've made a note of it. We will try and get Priyatosh to answer this offline. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, but we will try our best and have the answer with you, which brings me to the next segment. I'd like my lovely colleague Neelka to take over and just run us through a product update and everything exciting that's happening at Turn.
Great, thanks Lakshmi, and hi everyone. My name is Neelka. I'm in Cape Town, and as always, it's really lovely to be together. Today I have 4 product updates to share. The first one is on message search. So we are giving you more control. We've added granular ways to look at date and time. So you can now select a start date and a start time and an end date with an end time when you look for messages. That makes it easier to find specific things. And also you can, as usual, save your searches as collections. We're also working on quick picks. So you'll see it 24 hours or 3 days or 7 days or 30 days. And that makes it easy to make a 24-hour collection or maybe a 7-day collection. So have a look and let us know if there's any other feedback from your side. The second update, this is also for help desk operators. Last year, we introduced what we call a message collection. And the aim of message collections is really to make finding and answering messages much simpler and quicker. And we've seen a large increase in operator responses, which is something that we really makes us excited. Automation is great, but we believe that the type of work that you guys do oftentimes require a human to answer a human on complex issues. So after we've launched the message collections, we got feedback and we've heard you. We introduced a way to automatically mark messages as done. So I'm not going to go into the details. You guys can will see it in the UI, and you can also read about it on Learn. But with message collections, you can mark a message as to do or done, helping your help desk operators work through queries. But sometimes you also look just at the person you're responding to as on a full conversation level, and you can open or close the chat. And now if you close a chat, your messages will all be marked as done. So maybe if you're not using the help desk all the time, some of this goes over your head. But if you do use the help desk, that should make you excited. So use it and let us know where it helps and where you still see improvements that we can do. And then the third update is on reminders. It is great to send notifications, and I think both teams sharing today alluded to there's certain times where you want to prompt users for re-engagement or maybe send them a reminder of an upcoming vaccine appointment. But it's as important to cancel certain reminders at times. So just that you all are aware, you can cancel reminder. Maybe you've scheduled it and you realize it's not the right time, but even when it is in progress. So just want to make sure that you know if there's ever a large thing going out and you need it to stop, that you can also now cancel in progress reminders. And then lastly, giving you a little glimpse of what is coming. Especially if you're using stacks, you are also able to schedule stacks, and we are increasing the possibility of scheduling. So the moment you can set a stack to be scheduled based on like seconds, so a relative time, but we're making it easier to schedule it, say, for Monday morning at 8 a.m. or maybe even the Thursday after your previous appointment. So just more flexibility, simpler ways to set up schedules. And that is, that will be coming soon. That's all from the product side. And then on community side, want to share and tell you guys about a playbook we like to create playbooks and make it available. If you're new, the idea of a playbook is you can go through anything that the community is sharing, and you can download it and you can use it as is, or you can adapt it for your specific scenario. So there's a playbook around notifying an agent or an operator or a coach, depending on how you like to call your help desk operators. What it does is it sends a WhatsApp message to their personal phone number. So let's use a scenario. You have a help desk. It runs between 8 and 5. But at times there's urgent messages coming outside of that time zone. And although the team isn't at their desk, there might be times where they get a prompt on their personal WhatsApp to just go and check your turn account. So you can do that, and I've got a video that's going to take us through it. So let's watch that, and then I'll get back to you.
This tag will notify a randomly selected agent from the list of agents on their personal WhatsApp number when an urgent request is sent to your chat service. When an urgent message arrives on the chat service, a message is sent from Turn to the agent's personal phone number. The message notifies them that there is an urgent message to attend to in Turn action. I'll initiate the stack with a trigger word. And I'll ask a question. As soon as I have asked a question, an acknowledgement is sent to me, saying that the question is acknowledged, and the agent has received a WhatsApp notification like this on his personal WhatsApp number. For this stack to work, there are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind. First is an approved template with 3 parameters, because this particular stack uses a templates with 3 parameters in it. And the second thing that you would need is the list of agent and their phone numbers that you can add in this table called agents. There's another table called parameters. In this parameter, you need to add your bearer token from your WhatsApp line from which a message is sent to your agent. You need to specify the language code of your approved message template, and you need to specify the name of your approved template. So these are the things that you need to add before you start using this template.
Great. Let me quickly recap. The video is on YouTube, and you can watch it alongside opening the playbook in community and go through it in detail. Remember that with a playbook, you can always adjust it to your need. So yes, there's stacks code, but once you've got it downloaded, you can tweak it as you need it. You set up a template, you list your team of operators and their personal WhatsApp numbers, and then when messages come in, they can get pinged on WhatsApp. So try it out. We've had many requests. I think Manish have helped a whole bunch of you implementing it. And if you find ways to make it better, publish a new playbook. That's how we share with each other and accelerate all the work we're doing together. And then I'm handing back to Pippa.
Thanks, Nielke. I'm sure those of you, if you've ever wondered why Manish is so quick to get back to your video support queries, that's because he's getting pinged on his personal WhatsApp. So that's Manish's own hack on top of our platform. It's great to see it being shared as a playbook. But if you want to connect with us more generally, as I said, there are videos like this on YouTube, lots of things for you to see and explore, as well as all our town hall videos will be there too. You can connect with us on LinkedIn or on Twitter, and don't forget to join our status page for any product related updates, outages, issues there. And of course, if you want to get hold of us, scan that QR code for support. And that's a bit of a wrap. So I want to say a big thank you to Kati for sharing your example of a WhatsApp help desk. I think many of the organizations in the community, whether it's volunteers or teachers or community workers, are all engaging with people that support on the ground programs. And I think you've shown an amazing example of how you can be the support structure to those volunteers in a really easy way, and how you can do that at scale is really fantastic to see how you've grown over the last while. And you know, the help desk is really an area of the product that we're going to be focusing a lot on this year. As Neelke said, we feel that having a human in the loop, especially for more complex use cases, is essential to have really, really deep impact. And so you'll see a lot of activity, a lot of new features coming out of the help desk this year on Turn. So thank you so much, Kati. And Priyatosh, I mean, your experience with childhood immunization, I think we saw during COVID the real power of how WhatsApp can be used to drive people to vaccinations. And I'm really excited that there are ongoing randomized controlled trials happening in Argentina about how using chatbots can drive people to the clinic for vaccination. So we're really excited about the evidence that is being started to generate about this use case, and very excited to see you guys working in this space as well. So thank you so much for joining us today. So that's it for another month, but yeah, don't be strangers in the meantime. We're always here and always love to chat to you. So thank you so much for a wonderful session. Have a lovely rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening.